Would we be approaching something like what's happening in Finland? Joining me now to talk more about this is Congressman Greg Steube. He represents the 17th Congressional District of Florida. He serves on the House Judiciary Committee and the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me.
So you heard what is unfolding in Finland, as Paul Coleman talked about that. Do you have any concerns that that could happen here in the United States?
Well, I would argue that you've seen that happening slowly in the United States with COVID-19. You've seen governors in states like California shut down churches, say that you have to be outdoors, and then shut down the amount of people that are out there. So I think you're already starting to see that type of activity under the guise of COVID-19 and protecting your health care happening right here in the United States. So, you're seeing that in Finland, but you're also seeing the type of reaction that I got from Jerry Nadler, the chairman of the Judiciary Committee, the Democratic chairman of the Judiciary Committee, just by simply citing scripture on the House floor. And what was interesting in that discussion was, as he said that, "In God we trust" is enshrined and inscribed above the speaker's rostrum. But apparently that doesn't matter to Jerry Nadler.
Well, it's the interjection of Scripture that seems to trouble them most. But your point is well taken. I think this is a slow, subtle, but nonetheless a very definitive process that we see taking place, what's happened over the last 18 months, as you mentioned, with the COVID-19. But the one thing I would hope, and you can speak to this as you saw the response to what Nadler said to you, that the church here in America is not as complacent as it is in Finland.
Well, absolutely. And what you've also seen, thankfully, is a U.S. Supreme Court that has been very proactive on religious liberty cases. You've seen them overturn laws in California and New York and others where they've tried to shut down churches. So thankfully, thankful to Trump's appointments to the U.S. Supreme Court, you've actually seen religious freedoms fully felt up here in the United States and supported by the U.S. Supreme Court. So despite how far California governors and New York governors are willing to go, thankfully right now we have a U.S. Supreme Court that's actually willing to prescribe to the First Amendment rights to our Constitution, and that is our religious liberties. So hopefully they'll continue to do that. And I think if you're going to see governors and others try to tell members that are trying to talk about their religious beliefs or churches that are trying to gather, they won't be shot down like you're seeing happening in Finland and other countries.
Well, and Congressman, you're a lawyer as well. You serve on the Judiciary Committee. The advice I think that pastors and churches should take is that they should exercise these freedoms because that's the best way to preserve them.
Yeah, absolutely. And in states like Florida, we've been open since May. You have freedom here in Florida. Businesses have been open. Restaurants have been open. Our kids have been in school. And so it's a very different environment here than when I go to Washington and obviously in Washington and doing the work of the will of the people of my district. So I hope that Christians and conservatives in the United States will stand up for their religious freedoms, and I think they'll continue to do that as you've seen as the cases have been brought against these different orders, against Jewish synagogues and churches meeting that have making their way all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court.
Congressman Greg Steube, always great to talk with you. Thanks for your boldness and courage in speaking truth wherever you are.
Happy to do it anytime.
All right, thanks so much.